This video is a preamble to the one that is after this video, the main message that I had conveyed. Now, what I want to make perfectly clear is that in the video I'm speaking about what God wanted. Well, you see, what God wanted for the world and the people is very misconstrued, because so many people talk about God so broadly. And it seems to me that the vast majority of people that speak about God only eclectically pick out the bits that they want to use, the bits that they want to embody for themselves, the bits that they want to rationalize, the bits that they want to take to their heart. Because if you talk about God in the Quran or God in the Old Testament, then these gods are the biggest bastards that you could ever want to meet. And so I don't get people trying to burn down this building and come and stab me in the neck, I won't talk about the Quran. I'm talking about the Old Testament, whereby I'm dealing with more rational, reasonable people, Christians, that are not going to want to do those things. But let's have a look at the God of the Old Testament and all of the abominations that he did. I don't need to recite them. There are so many throughout that whole book. And then, of course, with the Old Testament, slap bang on top, you've got the New Testament. And the New Testament was about the life of Jesus. And those two books contradict the whole book in its entirety. They're chalk and fucking cheese. God was a bastard. And this is why so many people speak about the demiurge. He wasn't the real God, this Jehovah. He's the demiurge. He's the false God. The real God in the Old Testament was Lucifer, who's been bastardized, who's been converted into Satan and the evil. But when you look logically at the Old Testament, you see that Satan and Lucifer seem to be reasonable guys to me. They seem to be perfectly reasonable in lots of the instances. But God doesn't. He never, ever seems reasonable. He's a bullying, manipulating ogre. And so, when you look at what Jesus had to say, what he said is difficult to fault from a humanitarian perspective, because it all seems kind of cool. Love thy neighbour, do the right thing, you know, don't hurt anybody, and all this sort of thing. I'm pretty sure that all of you are familiar with some of it, if not all of it. And so I want to make perfectly clear then that when I'm speaking about what God wanted in this video that comes after this one, it's the concept of God from people's perspective of God doing the good, God being a good thing, because God most certainly wasn't a good thing in the Old Testament or in the Quran. And so we have to look for somewhere else for this good God. And Jesus, you see, he seemed to have it right, because he said, "Truly I say to you, the kingdom of God is within you all. Do you not know that ye are gods?" That's what he was saying. And so when we're looking for God then, we have to look much more closely than we've been looking, and the whole world's been looking for thousands of years. We have to look right bang here. That's where you'll find God. That's where you're going to find reason. That's where you're going to find love and hate. Jehovah and the devil and all that stuff, it's all in here. It's all you. Every single bit of it derives out of human consciousness. And human consciousness is partaking in this thing which does very bad things on occasion. And so let's not project, oh, the reason why I murdered all those kids is because the devil did it. The devil came and put himself inside me. It was you. You are the devil. You had choices. That's the choice you made. And so if we look at it from that perspective, that's the perspective I want you to look at it from. This God that everybody has in mind, all-pervasive, good thing, the creator of all things that are good, is also the creator of all things that are bad. And then we are in the middle of all this stuff that's good and all this stuff that's bad. And we've got God consciousness to make choices. And so, if we have the God consciousness to choose between right and wrong, then it seems to me that that is an attribute of God, and so therefore, aren't we all mini-gods? We create heaven and hell in this dimension. We create heaven and hell in everybody that we potentially meet, or variants of those two adjectives. Adjective nouns. What are they? What is heaven? What is hell? Is it a place? Is it a concept? It's a mindset. That's all it is. The mindsets. And so, that's all I wanted to say before you go to the next video.